Well, welcome back to the Grapple Theory podcast. We've got double trouble on the show today because we're joined by Amira and Michael Oku. It's a double episode here. Great to have you guys on. Building up to RevPro's biggest show in a long, long time at the Copper Box. 11th anniversary show, huge milestone. First of all, let's talk about you guys though. How are you guys doing? It's been a great sort of like year for both of you, really.
Yeah, I'd say 100%. Yeah, it's been a really good year. Just we're like halfway through, and there's a lot of stuff that's obviously coming in the future, which we'll talk about. But like, it started off strong, and I think we're going from strength to strength. The both of us in both our careers.
I think the last time we spoke was about 2 years ago.
It was. It's been a while.
And a lot has changed, I think, in the 2 years since I've started to now. So it'll be really interesting to catch up. Because I think I remember last time we did quite well on the views on my first video. But I've done so much since that I wanted to catch up and tell you all the cool stuff I've actually done since.
Yeah, loads of cool stuff. I mean, both your guys' interviews actually with us the last time you were both on did really well. So obviously, now that you're together, it's got to be double both of those, right? Essentially. It's going to be, views are going to be sky high.
It's just me singular.
I mean, Amira, I think you do have more views on yours than Michael does. So.
Yeah, yes.
Although I will say, Michael, I think you did better on socials, number-wise. Although I remember Amira's, like a couple of Amira's went quite viral as well. So I think you're pretty evenly balanced.
I get quite viral. Yeah.
You're very opinionated. Very opinionated. Well, we'll see. I mean, actually, we'll see in the comments, actually. If you're watching this, comment who you're here for, Amira or Michael. And we'll see who racks up the most in the comments.
No, I don't want to play that game anymore. I don't want to play.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you both here. We've got loads of cool stuff to get into. I think we'll start with the big one, with RevPro, with their 11th anniversary show at the Copper Box, because it's a huge milestone for them. And I think, Michael, when you last came on in October, we talked about, it was just after you dropped the Cruiserweight belt to Luke Jacobs, and you talked about, like, with us about how you wanted to go on and you know, elevate yourself in RevPro and win the top belt. And now we're here, conveniently, before the 11th anniversary show, and you've got the top belt. Like, how does that feel? How was that, like, was it now, July? So, like, that sort of 9-month transition been for you? Like, because it's been... You've had loads going on. You've done so much, and like to finally get your hands on that belt. What does that mean to you?
I'd say it's a huge honor, honestly. To, like you said, I just remembered. I was like, that was one of my goals. I'd say that's where I wanted to get to. We did so much build from losing the title, and there's so many stories that we told up until Epic Encounter in July. That like the huge honor is not only just winning the title, but then I'm walking in technically as not with the belt, but technically as the champion in the biggest show that RevPro's ever done. So that's a kind of a cool like tip of the cap when I just put it out like that. Yeah.
Not so nice having the belt taken from you at the very end there though. Like that was a bit of a dick move from Trent, wasn't it? Amira, I can imagine you weren't too happy with that because.
Absolutely not.
Fuming.
Don't understand. It's the need to stay relevant, but he's. I'm sure this will make him relevant again.
Yeah, he's got to do something, doesn't he? He's like, it feels like it's sort of like a cry for attention kind of thing.
You said it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll take the heat from Trent. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, although like Amira, as well, like you've been like by Michael's side the whole time throughout this, and we spoke to Michael again when he came on about like having you involved in the storyline and being involved with everything throughout this build as well as it's now been. I mean, how has that been for you to be part of it and to sort of like be able to work together in that way?
Well, how we got there in the first place is probably a story in itself. Like, it wasn't actually our decision to come together. It was actually Andy that decided to put us together in the first place because I think he's seen in everyday life I was kind of always in his corner, always rooting for him, and we just put our relationship basically on the screen. And I feel like it's definitely it's worked, and I've really enjoyed watching him in his biggest like achievements that he's done. I was there with him when he won the cruiserweight with Luke Jacobs against Luke Jacobs, and I was there when obviously the heavyweight championship happened. Yeah, I just enjoyed being there for all those moments.
Yeah.
Could we? I realised I've said something wrong.
What? Well, you said they beat Luke.
They said that. No, let's keep that in. Let's revisionist history. Let's just keep it in. I won that match in Manchester. I walked into enemy territory and I defeated Luke Jacobs.
That's it now. That's it. Luke, because Luke doesn't have the belt now. You can't even prove anything.
Exactly.
No proof.
Well, that is true.
No proof. No.
It's live, pal. It's don't worry.
No.
To be fair, we don't need to cut it. I can put like a revision at the top here in the corner if you want. Like.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with people.
No, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with
900 days.
Let's cut all of that. Let's cut everything up to this point.
Okay, all right, start again.
I really enjoy working with him. It wasn't our idea to be together. We're here now. We do this together. I sometimes get things wrong. That's why he's the face of our product. Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like we've had people make far worse mistakes on this show, so don't you worry. That's like we've had people like make far worse blunders about like their own belts. So like that's something that's fine. But I was going to say, and as part of that as well, you got to give that awesome clothesline to Gideon, right? As part of Michael's big title win at York Hall. Like that's
clothesline, sure. I'm
gonna call it a clothesline. I think that's the closest thing to it, right? It was sort of like a spear clothesline combo.
It was rage. All I could describe it that it was rage. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
We need a name. We need a name for it though. It's got to have a name. It's like a totally unique new move.
It's just rage. Let's just call it Amira's rage. Put it onto one single human being.
Love that new finishing move. Love it. I was gonna say for you though, Amira, like, is it more daunting now watching him from ringside and like being in those moments, or like would you prefer to be backstage in terms of like the nerves it causes you?
I don't like it anytime he gets in the ring half the time because he's always doing something dangerous and always I never know what's coming. So like part of the I think the hype of what Michael does and what I do is that he doesn't tell me anything and it's all very organic when we're out there. So like I'm basically watching it along with everyone and all my reactions are very organic and real. I just don't like that he does so much dangerous stuff. Would I prefer to be backstage? No. I'd rather be there just to see exactly what's going on and see if I can help in any way.
No, I love that. And like it seems like it's quite organic, like when you're working together. It doesn't feel like, again, obviously, like I feel like it wouldn't because you're in a relationship anyway, but like it doesn't feel like anything's like forced or like scripted in it. It feels like it's very much just you guys being you.
Well, I think that's how it started, in the sense that like you were just always there, like watching, not just mine, but like at most RevPro shows, you'd kind of be at least near merch or just even just next to the fans.
Yeah.
Watching the matches. And then obviously when I'm there and everybody is aware that we're together, there might be like an extra look, a side-eye look at her reactions while I'm wrestling. So you want to talk about like organic, that's as organic as it gets. Before Andy had the idea of having us be like paired together. Manchester was the first time that you were officially my manager, but like again, the reason I think that it's organic is because there's not really a blueprint on what we're doing right now in the sense that like if there's a wrestler with a manager, that it's usually a heel act, it's usually like two villains, so it's very difficult for us to find anything to research in terms of here are two faces, doing the manager thing, with a manager. So we're kind of like figuring out as we go along, and so our best bet is let's just feel it out there. Let's just do what comes natural in terms of reactions, and then we'll like talk whenever like we're together and be like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have done that, or you know that was great when we did that, and that's kind of just how we're developing it as we go along. No,
I love that. It's really cool. It's really great to see, and like I think as part of that, obviously, we're talking about off screen. Like Michael, we spoke to Andy recently. That's going out at the time of recording tomorrow, and like he just has like the highest thing, like praise for you. Like we spoke about it with like Amira. Like he loves you. Like it's definitely some sort of like bromance going on there. But like, I mean, he spoke about this sort of like which actually I didn't really fully know. This like symmetry in your title win, where like Great Khan was your first RevPro match. And then he was your title-winning match. That's a really lovely, like, full circle kind of thing.
It's a perfect story in a sense, and it's like, and just like wrestling, sometimes the best stories you can't write or you can't plan, because there was by no means the idea was in 2018, okay, Michael, I'm gonna finally use you after you've been begging to be used and been doing tickets and helping up with the ring. You're gonna have a less than 2-minute match with the Great Okan, and he's gonna be undefeated for 5 years and come back to the country, win the title, and then you're gonna be the one to be the title. That wasn't the idea, but nothing made more sense for that to be what actually ends up happening. I'm sure there were other ideas for people to end his streak. And there was never an idea maybe even for him to become the heavyweight champion. But all these things fell into place where the natural thing, the thing that the fans wanted most, and that's what it always boils down to, would be me defeating the Great Okan for the title.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the atmosphere there, I've seen, like, I wasn't there, unfortunately, but I've seen clips of it. The atmosphere was crazy when you won the match. And Andy said it as well. It was a very much sort of thing where it felt like everyone in that room had been on this journey with you, like, had been there watching your rise throughout RevPro for all this time to then be there for that big, like, climactic moment. Did it feel like that for you in the ring, like, that everyone had just been there waiting for this moment?
100%. 100%. There are faces that I recognize either from that very first York Hall debut to all the York Hall shows and the big moments that I had. Even go back before that, from my very first wrestling match, full stop. And that's why I kind of put together, for my entrance, I put together like a compilation of all my themes, from the very first theme all the way to my theme that I use at Purpose, to the themes I was using in RevPro. Like, I did that because to tell that story, like, hey, everybody, you all remember all these moments, you remember all these sounds, because you've been with me on this journey, and here we go to the final step of that journey, so to speak. So yeah, 100%, they were with me, and obviously I credit the fans to the fact that I'm here today. Yeah,
and Amira, we spoke about it as well before recording, but again, it seems like you're always having to fend Andy off of Michael, because it seems like, Andy's got a lot of love for Michael, which is understandable, but...
For anybody that does not know, that Andy and Michael are basically together, and I'm the other woman.
That's not.
And that's how he's got everything that he's wanted.
It's all been insider stuff. It's all been an inside business. Do you ever get that meme where you see, like, the guy and the girl? Oh yeah, the look behind one,
The guy looks back. The guy looking back is Michael, and the girl is walking past Sandy, and I'm the one holding his hand.
We'll get that meme done up. We'll make that meme up here if anyone hasn't seen it.
So you want that cut. You don't want my blunder of 100%. Saying that.
This is a blunder.
This is not a blunder. This is the truth.
This is a big
Everybody in the back knows, so may as well just come and say it.
Anyone watching, like, who's in the back at RevPro and can let us know. We need this sorted.
We need some confirmation.
Yeah. No, we're sure Michael has done it all through hard work. It's all through your hard work, and, like, we wouldn't deny you that. But I mean, again, like, Amira, we'll talk about some of the stuff you've had going on this year in a little bit. But I think while we're on the RevPro kick, we'll stay on that journey, and, like, again, like, it sort of all leads to this. I said to Andy, it feels like not like necessarily the, like, climactic moment for RevPro, but, like, it feels like the whole, like, this last 10 years has led to this huge moment over this huge weekend for British wrestling. And, like, for both of you, like, I just imagine it's got to be so cool to feel like you're, like, part of that as well, with so much going on.
I mean, for me, I can only say, like, I'm just so excited. I never thought 2 years in my career I would be even, like, that close to watching it. I think this is going to change British wrestling for years to come. We'll all talk about this day. We'll all talk about when AEW came, this, and how much that has changed the British scene. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the change afterwards, and how this is all going to change everyone's lives after, wrestling wise. So
I think, like, there's a lot of people that use the asterisk of, like, this is one of the biggest wrestling weekends in, like, British wrestling history. But when you have a chance, and when it's likely to be the highest selling show of all time ever, then you have to say it can likely be the biggest weekend in wrestling, full stop. And it's by the secondary promotion, as Triple H would say. Like, so, and that's so amazing. It's so cool. So, like, for them to like take that gamble and be like, yeah, we're gonna do Wembley Stadium, and then I think that gave Andy the courage to take his own gamble and say, okay, let's go Copper Box. I think it's gonna be so cool to get new fans of RevPro, because I've seen a lot of people saying this is my first RevPro show I'm going to, bought tickets for the Copper Box. So there's that determination, I know, from all the boys and girls in the back that are gonna make sure that we show out. And maybe Andy said this, and I've been saying it because we truly believe it, that after the weekend's done, it will be comparative which show was better.
Yeah.
You will be deciding whether AEW or RevPro had the better show. Just the size of the stadium will not be enough.
Yeah, Andy said exactly that. Andy was like, we want it to be the show of the weekend. Like, we might not have like the pageantry and the flair that AEW have, but like, we wanted people going away being like, that was the better show.
That's what we want, and it's not in a they're gonna suck, they're just gonna suck kind of way. We want everybody to have a great time, but it's just the confidence that we have in the promotion, in the roster, the talent. You could put it up against anyone in the world. Like, when the main event is going to be Will Ospreay versus Shingo, then that match alone will probably be the match of the weekend, nearly 100%. It's a nearly easy bet to make.
Yeah.
So when that's going up on the weekend against everything else that's coming in, it's not a hard argument to make that we might steal the weekend.
I was going to say, is that pressure for you though? Like, knowing that, in terms of, because everyone wants to have the best match on the show, right? Is that pressure for you, knowing that you got to go up against a Will Ospreay Shingo Takagi match?
No, but by that I mean there's no point in trying. The match isn't there because it's just
we've accepted.
Everyone has to. If you're on a show with either Will Ospreay or Speedball Mike Bailey, every wrestler knows that you're fighting for second place, and that's okay.
So we're going for second place as hard as we fucking can.
Yeah, you want that silver medal. Want it. Love it.
100%. But the idea is that, as long as everybody's aiming to have the best match they can, we want it so that people leave saying, top to bottom, what an amazing show. So there's that match that they had, the first one in 2019, I just was like, okay, well, these are the two best wrestlers in the world. That's how I left watching that match.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I'm a wrestler on the show, and I can't wait as a fan to see it live in person. So I'm absolutely fine with like I said, the pressure isn't there, and at the same time, we're gonna try and do a different match to the match they're gonna do. So we have our own place on the card in that sense, and that's why the pressure isn't there.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, in terms of again, I've said it before, I said it to Andy, I said it as well when we had Kira Chimera on a couple of weeks ago. Not in terms of necessarily pressure, but is there that one, and I know it's different for you guys because you both work other shows as well, but with UKPW running and Eve running and Progress running and Defy coming over, is there that that want in each locker room to be we're going to one-up this show. We're going to be, not just the show of the weekend, but also, with the other indies, be we're going to top this show. We're going to make sure we, do you know what I mean? Not necessarily a rivalry thing, but is there, that want to be, we're going to make sure?
100% competition can be healthy. But however, I am certain that that's why Andy books the Copper Box, because he already wanted it just on the venue alone to, be hey, guys, this is the destination venue. When there's Mania weekend, there usually is always a show attached to WrestleMania on that weekend. It's this is the big one to go to if it's a Ring of Honor Supercard show or stuff like that. So I think that was what Andy's idea was. But at the same time, that can allow, if everybody's thinking, well, this is going to be all these new fans, I'm going to try and make sure that maybe at least my match is one that people talk about. And that's just going to rise all tides. The idea and the hope for me personally is that people can leave, worldwide fans can leave saying, oh, wait a minute, this British wrestling team that was supposed to be dead and buried, there's actually some decent talent here. That's kind of what I want leaving from. I want loads of people to be known, loads of wrestlers to be known after this weekend.
They will leave this weekend.
Yeah.
There's amazing talent lurking around our floor. They will. It's not... up for.
It's impossible to argue that people are not going to leave looking at the British talent being holy shit, because there's so much happening, so much. You'd be a fool to not see it.
100%. And I think this could start, who knows? This is like grandiose thinking. You know, we're looking for business, the booms. You know, we talk about the boom, and that was, you know, years ago, way before the pandemic. We may be reaching another one in this country when one of the biggest companies in the world is doing a show at Wembley Stadium, and that's the biggest company in the world to try and do a WrestleMania in London. And then you got Impact Wrestling coming later this year to do 3 shows in October. I think everybody's starting to see, oh, wait, we should go back down to the UK. We should kind of peek and see what they're saying and what they're doing, because everybody puts over the fans. They're like, the UK fans are they're great. So, hey, give them some good wrestling. And I think the wrestlers who are here and who've been killing it these last few years, it's time for them to show out. It's time for them to be known, to be heard. And I'm excited. I'm excited for me to be one of them, for Amira to be one of them, and for many others to be one of them.
For sure. And we'll get on to now your match with Trent, because obviously that's one of the big reasons you're here as well to build this. Because Trent's been a bit of an arsehole recently, you know, like coming in, seeing the belt, stealing your big moment, running away with the belt. I mean, I saw from clips as well, like, Amira, you were just as fuming as Michael was. Like, the anger on your face was telling. So, like, I mean,
it's just trying to stay relevant. Like I said it earlier, it's just how desperate he is, personally him, to try and stay relevant when he knows it's time to go. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand why he would do that.
I was going to say, it's got to be nice as well, knowing that you'll get that bit of revenge as well at such a big show.
Yeah. That's going to be the kind of cool thing, because it's happened kind of a few times to me in RevPro now that I stop and think about it, where like have a big victory, usually at your call, and then something happens to me. Like I won the J Cup in 2019, and then Pac attacks me from behind and breaks the trophy. So and there's all confetti on my face, and it just gets ruined. So what happens is I have to wrestle him, and then I beat him. And so the pattern will continue, where it's like you take the moment from me, you take the belt from me, and I'll have my real crowning moment on the biggest show that RevPro's ever done.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. It's going to be sweet. My worry for you, Michael, is that you're going to have to worry about Amira getting involved in terms of like just not wanting to beat Trent up herself.
Well, yeah, that's
half our arguments are, I want to do something. He says we have to be. I have to do it myself. But I can't help it. This thing with Trent has really, really got to me, because he could have played it any other way. He could have done it where, you know, he was supporting the people that were here, carrying the scene while he was away at the Big W. But instead, the Big W's let him go, and now he has to come and try and diminish the scene that we've kind of kept going while he was away. And this is just basically going to be on the biggest stage of them all, showing him that why it's not going to, it's his time to go. It's his time.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, if Andy wants to take this idea, feel free, Andy, if you're watching. If he wants to potentially make it, you know, like a title versus mustache match, where you get to shave him if he loses.
Oh my God.
Because I think it's been too long since anyone saw what was underneath there.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be mortifying. That's the reason why we haven't. But like, could you imagine if I get rid of his mustache? The amount of towels that man has printed that will no longer be valid and no longer be current.
That would be enough for me.
That would be very funny.
Andy, get it done. Andy, do it. It would be. I think it would go down as the most iconic in-ring shaving of all time. There's another one that springs to mind, but we won't mention that because that's.
I can't remember really.
It's something to do with someone who used to be president or something, but.
Yeah.
Who's that?
We'll get Tony Blair to shave Trent Seven's moustache.
Man, I tell you what. No.
I'm feeling to get Tony Blair. I know someone called Amira Blair that would happily.
Do you know someone called Amira Blair? Because I feel like I recognise that name, but I'm not sure where from. It's like a past life.
There you go.
She's American, right?
I've said, look, just to be, you want to talk about for the record, should have never dropped the name. I shouldn't
have dropped the name.
It was you had the perfect feud right there, ready.
I went to find all the Amiras across. So I went on my own global tour, and I went to find Amira and Amira's Blair, and I beat them both up.
Yeah.
Technically, I own the rights.
Technically, you're the best Amira.
Technically, I'm the ultimate one.
Yeah.
I also got the Instagram handle, the Twitter handle. I won. But I'm a humble queen, and I am letting them live.
It shows. It's so humble, so modest.
In all jokes aside, though, unfortunately, they're the two loveliest people ever. I'm the problem. I went up to them ready to pure fight them all at WrestleMania weekend, and they were just two of the nicest people ever. And I was like, oh shit, well, I've travelled all this way to go for a scrap, and I don't want to scrap these people.
It doesn't feel as good then, does it? It doesn't feel as good once you know they're nice.
It doesn't feel as good when they're just warm-hearted, lovely girl. And yeah, so we're all staying connected. We're all like in this little triangle. Apparently there's another Amira somewhere lurking around the universe. I just didn't think when I chose this name that it would be as common or as it is.
It's been so controversial. I can't imagine. I've never seen a name.
I don't want it. If I could change it to something else, I don't want it anymore. I want it. I give it up if I could.
It's not like it was John Smith.
It's not like it was John Smith. Shut up, man.
It really was like, that's a very
or Joshua James, or J Joshua, or JJ Joshua, or JJ Gill Joshua. Like, it's not like any of those names, but for some reason, this name is every girl's favourite. And we all look alike as well. Which makes it all hilarious. If there was a blonde one among us, sure.
I think you've got a perfect stable right here. Like three of you.
If we could all meet up, then yes. But I would then I'd have to be the leader because I'm the original one. I think I'm the original one. I don't know.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? That's where the battle comes in. You form the stable, it's all going lovely, and then you're fighting over who was the original, who was the top.
Yeah.
And that's how the split happens.
When you do your tagging of every single person, can you tag Amira, Flair, and the other Amira, and just figure out which one's what first?
I will do.
First.
We'll get it all sorted. It'll all explode in the comments. It'll be great. Figure
out for me.
Well, we've got plenty to talk about, sort of like RevPro aside. But as a final sort of like build to this show, we didn't have either of you on when I introduced this new feature that we've got. So we've got a new feature here.
I know the new. Yeah. Okay.
It's called Dishing the Dirt, and you're going to dish some dirt on your RevPro locker room mates. I say dishing the dirt. I say this to everyone. Most of them are quite lovely, to be fair. Like, there's only a couple that are a little, like, might get you in trouble, but most of them are quite nice. So,
answer though, to your promise.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if you both agree on who's who. But like,
we have to say the name of the.
Yeah, so I'll give you a scenario, and you let me know which wrestler it most applies to. Okay, so who's always the one that's running late? Who's always running late to shows?
Ricky Knight Jr., Ricky Knight Jr., Ricky Knight Jr., Ricky Knight Jr. Ricky Knight Jr. will be late to this video when it comes out. Like, he'll hear about this in 2 years' time and go, "What did you say about this?" "Oh, I've seen that in a video." He will be late to the video. Yeah. I adore Ricky.
I didn't think it would be that easy. It's clear. If you can go like test a quiz throughout the entire locker room and ask.
Everyone will get that answer.
That's mad, because that's normally one of the toughest ones. That's normally one of the toughest ones. People are always like, "Oh no one's really that late," but you guys just straight in there like.
He always dresses the best though, so if you ask about who dresses the best, it's Ricky Knight Jr.
See, okay, so that's coming later. Yeah, that's coming later as well.
Oh god, that's not a question. He's got to change.
No, it's similar. It's similar. It's not that exact one, but it's similar. It's good to know that Ricky dresses the best, but that's similar to that. The next one is actually one of the ones that I think like may get you heat depending on who you say. It's only one of two that I think are in that category, but it's who do you think has the worst music taste?
Oh, who has the worst music taste?
It doesn't have to be like in the locker room, like if you're traveling with someone as well, like.
Oh, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say who I think it is.
Go on.
David Francisco.
I knew you were gonna say
David Francisco. So you knew I was gonna say David Francisco.
You didn't say it.
David Francisco just does it like he listens to Lonely Island. No.
That's a throwback. My God.
Unironically.
He will listen to that.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be in the car and go,
That's
gonna put on a little song. And it's Jizz in My Pants from 2008.
Yeah, it's one thing.
And he's like,
if it's one thing, if it's like, oh, here's a genre. I'm not personally into that genre, but like, I think unanimously, you can't be like,
you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't.
I mean, everyone loves Andy Samberg, right? But I feel like you're right. I feel like if you're not listening to Lonely Island unironically, like in 2023, it's kind of a red flag.
Or an orange flag.
Yeah.
Orange.
I love that. The next one is who's the biggest comedian in the locker room? Who can you always count on to make you laugh?
I am the funniest human being I know. Single-handedly.
I don't want to dob him in here in case you're not looking at the screen, but Michael's face would suggest differently.
He doesn't think I'm funny.
I'm giving it a thought. The real answer.
But I am the funniest person.
I mean, I know. I feel like I know you, Amira. I feel like you're pretty hilarious.
I am pretty spectacular and swell. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who the funniest person would be.
Do you know who's really funny? It's Gideon Gray.
Oh God, he's funny.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Dan Maloney's quite funny as well.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of people who just get people laughing a lot. Yeah, those are two.
Yeah, I think someone else said Dan. I can't remember who we had on that said Dan. It was probably someone from up north, but I can't remember. Exactly.
Yeah. But up and down the country. That's
someone said it for sure. But Gideon's great as well. We've had him on the show as well. Like, obviously he's not, because he's been dogging you for ages and like finally got your comeuppance on him. But aside from that, he's good. He's a good lad.
Dry human. He's really good.
Yeah.
Dry human.
The next one is whether it's like for their match or post show ready to go home. Who takes the longest to get ready?
Oh, me.
You.
Especially after. 100%.
You.
Like after the show, I'm always the last one in my gear.
He's the last person there.
I said it, yes. I'm there.
Shut up. I want to say it now. I want to say it. He will, if the show finishes at 4:00.
That's it.
We are not leaving till 7:00 because he will be lingering about. He sits there on his phone for a good 5 minutes in his underwear before actually getting up to do anything. No, you're not. You get to your gear and you get to your underwear and you sit in your phone. And then everyone's like, come on, the venue is closing, hurry up. Andy has probably left the building at this point and it's just me. Sometimes I leave without him.
I was going to say, I wouldn't blame you. Is it a thing where, I think, who did we have on? It might have been the Velocities we had on, and they said they're the same, but it's because they always sit down after their match, and then it's just like, once you're sat down, you can't be asked to get back up. Is it like that sort of thing?
He can't be asked to move anywhere. He would stay in that position forever if he could.
You're exhausted. I'm always in pain after a match. And also, I don't want to lose that feeling of being a wrestler.
Yeah. And you have to go home to your
once I take off the cape,
go back to your wife.
Yeah, once you're normal again, yeah.
Yeah, that's the psychological thing. That's probably the psychological thing deep down, maybe.
What he doesn't remember is that I'm the average human being that has to drive him somewhere or take him home or do something.
I've had a 229.
You get the tube, it's fine. It's easy.
We have to go get food after the 229.
We don't have to get food. So you can go get food.
But I'm waiting on you before we go.
You don't have to. I'll meet you there.
It sounds like you could go get food and then come back and he'd still be there.
There's a point.
Yes,
you could bring me.
That has happened.
You could bring me food.
That has happened. I have brought you food. I brought you chicken wings once.
Yeah, good.
Oh, I love it. Great choice. Yeah. This is, again, another idea for Andy. It's a great idea for a promo where Michael gets locked in the venue. Like, almost like a Home Alone style thing, but you're locked in the venue. You got to wait till the next show to get out.
But he would wait there. He would wait there, and he'd be fine with it.
Right.
As long as he's got his phone.
There's showers. There's a lot of...
There's amenities there for him to survive. And as long as he's got his phone, and as long as he can watch wrestling, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
Wi-Fi. There is Wi-Fi.
There is Wi-Fi.
Those are the most important things. I'm glad you got the priorities, though, Michael. I appreciate that. I respect that. Because we all know that phone and wrestling are the most important things.
That's it.
The top two.
It's been so great being with him the last 2 years.
I'm so sorry.
Leaving everything at home in Ireland to come live with this guy who only cares about wrestling.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I really am. It's,
It's fine. It's fine.
Is he like that in other areas, though, in terms of getting ready? Like, again, going places, like, aside from wrestling, like, if you're just going out for the day or something, are you always, like, just...
if it's something you want to do your own time, when it was the Barbie movie.
Great movie. What a movie.
Roger, when you talk about the movie, no, what
You
you
love the movie.
I don't know why you're using that as an example, because I had to go to a clothes shop and get you something pink to then meet you. I was ready.
You got me a maternity top because you hate me.
It was pink.
And because you did not want to go to Barbie. So
No. I got the tickets. I got the tickets. You were like, oh,
because but you said you did not want to go to Barbie.
I got the tickets and it wasn't like a cheap, like, use my like phone network 2-for-1 thing. I went to a
full price tickets. Full price.
Yeah, full price, front row. You know, for what that's worth. I'm actually like front row.
Yeah, as if it's like the same in wrestling, like front row.
Yes, I was looking up at the screen
front
like
row,
this.
VIP meet and greet and all that. And then, you know, we watched the
VIP meet and greet to Barbie. I didn't do Barbie.
Yeah, you don't meet Margot Robbie. You meet like the cinema staff. It's the meet and greet with the cinema staff.
I tell you what, the cinema staff. Some of them were wearing wigs.
Yeah.
They were all committed.
Love that. I love that. Great movie as well. Like, we could go on for a whole podcast about the movie, but what a movie.
Oh, I could talk about that movie all day.
Great movie. No, excellent. The next one is who brings the like Amira. I feel like the answer. Well, you guys will know very well the answer to this. If we were asking this about the Eve locker room, is Nina Samuels. But it's who brings the best food.
Food.
Yeah.
Food.
Like snacks or like their pre-show meal or something.
I was just gonna say Nina if it was Eve. Like,
it's always
girls'
Nina.
cookies are.
My God, like,
I've been printed. There was one show I did at the Dome.
At the Dome,
and she brought snacks.
And she was selling them and they were so good.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Who brings food to RevPro?
Does anyone bring? Is RevPro just dead? Is it just dead? No food?
Edibles too. No one does that. That was a joke. That was a joke. Joke. Before I'm cancelled, that was a joke. It was a joke.
The more you say it, the more people.
The more it seems like it's not. Yeah.
I'm gonna get cancelled. This is exactly why I don't do podcasts.
I'm gonna do PR training, not PR training.
Yeah. No, that's right.
It was a joke.
I'm pretty sure someone else has made like some sort of reference to that sort of thing as well. So don't worry. Like someone else has done that, but like. No, it's good. It's good.
Now that you said that,
there should be someone that be.
Yeah, someone should be bringing some snacks.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, either that or Andy's just got to book Nina purely for the snacks. Like,
Andy's just got to book Nina in general.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
In general.
Yeah.
For Nina, perhaps.
Always does. I was going to say the cookies are right because, like, she sold them at the shows, didn't she? She sold the brownies and the cookies, and I had the brownie the first time, and that was good, but. And then I had the cookie the second time. I was like, oh, the cookie kicks the shit out of the brownie. The cookie's like the best cookie I've ever had.
I'm into the brownies. I'm into a Nina brownie.
That sounds weird out of context, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like,
yeah. Let's go to the next question.
Next question. Well, this is the question where I said it's similar to what you said about Ricky Knight because we're not talking in the ring now. We're talking out of the ring. You're all. Going home post-show, who has the worst dress sense?
Oh, it's so hard.
I feel like Amira knows the name she wants to say, but like.
I know it.
It'll be interesting to see because we've had a few RevPro people on actually, and one of them said it was themselves. So I want to know if Amira thinks it's the person who said it was themselves who's a regular on RevPro.
It's a regular on RevPro.
There's somebody a regular on RevPro said themselves.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll say on-off regular on RevPro said themselves.
Oh my God! I think. Well, I know the worst dressed person in the world in the wrestling scene.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna name them because they know Jordan Said.
Oh, it's not Jordan.
Please, you're short. Please, you've wore the same ones for 2 years, lad. It's time. It's Zach Zodiac time. Like, fucking get rid of the pink shorts, brother. Wash them, clean them, I don't know. Anyway, but in RevPro, worst dressed. Oh, I don't know.
I have someone.
Go on.
Say it.
I have.
Say it.
If you catch Joshua James out of his contenders gear,
don't.
It's so funny.
No, don't.
His decisions.
It's not Joshua James.
His decisions are so. Well, just say you haven't said a name. So
right, I will say the name then, because I know them. Gideon Grey.
Yes, Gideon Grey's the one that said it was himself as well.
Oh, did you see what he turned up with? And they had, Stop. Your man turned up like he was ready to do the garden. He's ready to do the garden, but it's the biggest stage of them all. He
said that about himself. He was like, I'm fully aware. He was like, I'm fully aware I dress like an old man.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to.
He doesn't, yeah.
No, he doesn't. I just buried George Said for no reason.
Totally buried him when the answer was far more obvious.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite watching. It's short.
Who did you say?
I said Joshua James.
Joshua James, don't listen to him.
I'm going to take some fires at Joshua James.
Joshua James, do not. You're dressed wonderfully. You're a gorgeous boy, and you deserve so much better than whatever.
Josh, you've got a defender in Amira. You've got a defender. I love that. I love it. Well, the next one is like sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum because we're talking in the ring now, and like you can feel free to say either the same person or different people, but in the ring, in this hypothetical world where you've forgotten your gear and you need to borrow someone's gear for the evening, whose gear are you picking? Whose gear do you look at and you're like, I would rock that?
Wow. Alex Windsor!
Yeah.
Alex Windsor! Only Alex Windsor.
Alex is a great choice. Great gear.
She is my sister. We are the same size, I'm sure, so it will work. We look the same. I've definitely wore gear. I've wore so many women's gear. Yeah. It's so many for many people. I can get into a lot of people's gear.
Just so, very versatile. Very versatile.
I have definitely, by the way, I can definitely tell this now. Half the reason that the Sexy series started was because I kept forgetting my gear. So every time you've seen a sexy version of someone, I have forgotten my gear. So
I love that.
5 times now.
We actually, I'll sort of like, I'll divert away a little bit on a tangent because we did have a fan question about that, about when you're going to do Sexy Oku.
So, okay, right, so, of course I thought about it. Of course I thought about it. Who's sexier than the man that I'm going out with? Like, of course I'm going to do it, but do you want me cancelled, fam?
You don't have to do certain things to make you...
Come on, everyone would. Because would they know if I came out with just me doing like... the spin that you do and go, no, I would need to do the whole go full health with it. So I can never do it because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it. You can't cancel me.
I realised, Michael, you didn't say one that you'd wear. I remember we had Mad Kurt on the show, though, and he said you because he had worn your gear at one point.
He did. He did.
He said, I think he said, like, someone came to watch the show who, like, wanted to book him on the show, and he came out, but he'd come out in your trunks, so, like, it was really awkward for him, because the person who wanted to book him on another show had seen him in trunks with, like, your trunks.
No, I don't think it was the person that wanted to book him on the show. Well, maybe the guy did, but the person was Tony Khan. Tony Khan was there.
What?
Yeah, because it was at the Cockpit Theatre, and, like, Tony Khan, if people don't know this, he was, like, a regular goer to RevPro.
Oh my god, he didn't say this. Kurt didn't say this. What?
So that would have been, yeah. So it would have been... I think it's funny that he would have just said, some guy who's a promoter.
I didn't know it was Tony. No, he didn't say that. I can't remember who he'd said it. He definitely didn't say Tony Khan, because I would have remembered that. But he said someone had come to see him, and I can't remember who it was. But I like the idea now that Tony Khan... I like the idea that Tony Khan now is like, shit, this Oku is good. I got to book him, and he calls Kurt, and Kurt gets booked on Dynamite because he thought it was you.
Wembley, not Dynamite, Wembley Stadium. Nobody knows the card, but it could be true.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Is there anyone's gear who you think you could pull off?
I would love to wear Leon Slater's gear. The leather. So I see it, right? And it looks so heavy. Yeah. So the thing you're able to do with them whilst wearing that heavy, which probably gets sweaty, that's wild. So,
yeah.
I would try and see if I can rock that.
The fact that Leon does what he does generally is wacky, but like it's just wild, right? It's just insane that he does it. But wearing that as well, like it's
it's incredible. It's unreal. But he's an alien, so who
he's insane. Big up Leon. Like
big up Leon.
What a career he's having. What a career. The next one I always say is sort of counterproductive to ask a wrestling locker room, because it's who's the most competitive?
You.
Ooh.
You. I would go you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would say myself.
Yeah.
I would happily say myself. Maybe there are people who are more competitive with me, but then like I feel that's the reason why I am where I am. And so competitive in the most positive way, not in a just like sleeping on people's heads and bears. But like I think that's just one of those traits that when you're in wrestling, you need to have. Because if, even though you can argue, what wrestling? You're not competing against each other, but you kind of are in terms of like, there can only be like two people usually in the main event. There can only be one person who's like the top guy. So although working together, there's that competitive nature within the industry. So I think me always striving to be better than I was yesterday, that also makes me want to be better than the people who are ahead of me. So
yeah,
I put my hand up and say.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I like it. The final two are sort of both, again, like sort of little hypotheticals. So this is a night where everyone in the RevPro locker room is throwing a party. They've all invited you, but you can only go to one of the parties. Who's you picking? Who would throw the best party in the RevPro locker room?
Andy Quilden.
Yeah.
Of course he would say that. I would go to... I have to go to an Osprey party because that's where we go, isn't it?
Is it? Is that the regular?
There has been one that has happened often. Like in terms of house parties that actually happened.
I think it's
the one that has.
That's where we go. But he would in fact go down these.
I was going to say he'll go to Will's with you, but then like halfway through the night you'll be like, where are Michael and Andy? Where are they gone? Like.
There you go.
They're in a wardrobe somewhere.
You know where they're gone, yeah.
There's a what do you call it? Little Isaac, who's one of the not contender, but he's one of the trainees. Little Isaac, he's had his mother and his grandmother invite me to his birthday party. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come down.
What? I love that.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. And then I see the back garden. It's gigantic. They're having a barbecue. There's a hot tub, a jacuzzi, then there's like a little shed where you can play darts and then play with his dogs. And it has a little bar as well where you can just make yourself some cocktails. So I was like,
fucking hell.
What is going on here? So technically, he might be the one.
I love that. Yeah, you got to go there.
He did not invite me to the party. So therefore, that's the only one I have serious hate with.
Well, again, I feel like he probably gave Michael and +1 and he invited Andy, right, instead of you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Was not invited.
Yeah.
I think Andy might have been invited.
This is an absolute joke.
But not by me.
This is who I'm calling out in this podcast. It's the only one I have actual heat with. Out of everyone I've buried today, apparently, this is the one I'm just sticking with. Isaac Burry.
Yeah.
I do not invite me to your birthday party.
No, it was the mum that invited people. She just did the old Facebook, just click add all friends, and everyone was invited.
Well, and because I don't have Facebook.
Oh, that's your fault then, Amira. To be fair, you can't blame anyone for that. If you don't have Facebook and she's invited everyone on Facebook, it's down on you. That's. Oh, that's bad. Oh no. I didn't click that until you said it. Fuck's sake.
Do you know how much of this interview we have to cut?
Oh no, it's all going in. This is all golden. This is.
I am not fine with anything.
I tell you what, that brings us on nicely to the last question on the dishing the dirt. And again, it's not really a dirt one. It's who would you choose to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse? And we're not talking like relationship partner, obviously. We're talking like who's going to get you through it the best? Who's going to help you survive?
I wouldn't pick him. No way. I'm out.
Well, I was going to say this can be.
He doesn't
literally ask.
He doesn't attack. But I just want to be clear to everyone that I want this to be clear to everyone. I would never pick him when it comes to my.
Put me on the list.
Yes.
Another burial. This is your second burial as well in like 10 minutes. It's been.
So I would choose someone who I know is resourceful. I know is strong. I know would just get the job done, and that would be it. And I would choose Luke Jacobs.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, that guy will kill anybody.
I think we had Shreddy on, and he said Luke Jacobs as well. I think Luke Jacobs is a popular choice. Like. I'm sorry, Michael, if that's like a bit touchy as well because of the cruiserweight belt and stuff. But like
that win that I had against Luke.
Yeah.
No.
I have a choice. I have an easy choice. My choice that I'd have with me for a Apocalypse will be Dynamite Dawson. Because I'm not convinced that he hasn't already killed someone. So that's not an issue for him. I think it'll be good to do that. So
I pray to God.
Dynamite Lee Dawson.
Dynamite, if you are there and you're with Michael in this apocalypse, just know that we're done.
He loves petrol.
Yeah.
So, he could probably make those Molotov cocktails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'd be
Dynamite Lee Dawson.
When you say he loves petrol though, what do you mean? Because like I feel like everyone loves the smell of petrol, right? Like when you go to a gas station, the smell is quite.
I do that.
Oh really?
I get into the car. The smell of it makes me feel sick.
I quite like it.
I couldn't go out with Dynamite Lee Dawson.
I was gonna say, is it that? Is it that he just likes the smell? Does he like it in a weird way?
I don't actually know the full extent of it. I'm sure the smell is part. I hope that the smell is actually the end of it, because what else could be more? I hope he doesn't drink it. But if he's able to, more the reason that I'd have him by my side for the apocalypse.
We'll get him on and we'll ask. We'll get him on and ask.
Yes, please get Dynamite.
Love it. Lovely. Well, that was a lot of fun. That feature. That was a lot of fun, and that was very bizarre. It went to some very weird places. I'm not gonna lie, but I love it. This is definitely one of the most fun podcasts we've done so far. It's not even over yet. We've still got some fan questions to get into, like the one we alluded to earlier. This is Amira. This is your suggestion. So I mean, I
know it was my suggestion.
If this all goes downhill, to be fair, there's a few, and they're all very nice. This isn't anything that I think will be too tough to answer. The first one comes from someone that I feel like all three of us know pretty well. It's a guy who reviews for us quite a lot, and is at every single BritRes show in London ever. Ewan Mackenzie. Huge fan of the scene.
Oh shit, I know Ewan.
We love Ewan. He's such a guy. He just loves the scene so much. And he loves his Graps meets after the show as well. We love that. And it sort of goes back to...
I've seen them.
Yeah. And it sort of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about your dynamic as a couple at RevPro. I love the punching there, by the way. That was great. Bit of shadow boxing there. Bit of shadow boxing.
This is for you. He knows.
But continue, please.
Oh, Ewan. But it goes back to what we were saying earlier about your dynamic as a couple on the screen in RevPro as well. And you wanted to know if you guys took any inspiration from any other famous wrestling couples for how you work together in the ring.
So I think that's the thing. I know a lot of people draw comparisons to Macho Man and Elizabeth.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that.
But I can't really say we didn't sit down and study them.
And go, that's who we're gonna be.
I think again that's just the drawing the comparison of who's the closest to what we're doing, and it's there was a period of time when Macho Man was a babyface and Miss Elizabeth was a babyface, so they were together. But something that we've kind of started to do, and we've done it a few times, is actually look at just any pairing and see what they do, especially in terms of spots we can use. And although they may be based on context spots that maybe a villain would do, if we justification right, it can be stuff that works for us as faces, and depending on who we're doing it to.
Who would be the Sherry? Who would be the Sherry if you were Savage and Miss Elizabeth?
Sherry is actually a better shout.
Sherry is much better.
Sensational Sherry is actually a much better shout, because obviously she got way more physically involved. She had a bit of mouth to her, Bit of mouth.
No, but so that's the thing though. Who would be the other one? Who would be, if you were Savage and Sherry, who would be Elizabeth? And the other way around, if you were, Savage and Elizabeth, who would be Sherry? Sort of thing.
Oh, well, who would be? Wait. Oh, if I was.
Yeah, as in if you were doing that dynamic, the whole storyline, with Savage and Elizabeth.
Right.
Yeah, who would be the other woman? Would it be Andy?
Andy is just
Andy would not be the other.
So it's Macho Man and Elizabeth. Only it's Michael holding him and then Elizabeth's on the shoulder.
I'm holding.
But you're holding Andy.
That is a photo that I don't want to.
That's a photo that's got to be. Someone out there Photoshop that for us, because that's got to be done.
It's not it can happen. I've got a video to send you after this of the compilation I did with me and Andy. And that's going to be your end credit.
Love it. Yes, we'll run that at the end. That'll be great. That'll be.
That's a quick thing going to talk about, if you're cool with it. You've actually been receiving from the
that's what I wanted to talk about. So I have when I was back in Ireland, I actually used to do managing as well. So this is not my first rodeo with managing. I think I've been quite comfortable with the role for a while. But my inspiration, and I really want to talk about it and give her the credit, is Vicky Haskins. This Vicky Haskins, I have watched since that was probably on my first live show that I seen in OTT. I first watched Mark Haskins come out down in Dublin, and then 2 seconds later he goes back to the curtain and brings out Vicky. And I remember just falling in love with her and falling in love with how she worked the crowd. Years later, couldn't believe it. If you told me at that time, actually, that I would be talking to Vic, would never have put that down. I asked her advice because I started managing, and the only one I knew that did it and did it well was Vicky. So I had to ask her, and she has given me so many tips that I actually use in the ring. She's literally given me a guide of like, this is how you do it well, girl. And just, it's been so helpful. She's such a nice soul. She really, really cares. She wants to see us do well. Now, my dream, I didn't know that like it might not happen, but my dream is you versus Mark, me versus Vicky.
Yeah, so, love that. That would be great.
My dream, and I want that to happen badly. I don't know how it will or where it will happen, but I really want it to happen.
I was going to say, I've said to a few people on this, I've always wanted to, like, again, in a hypothetical where, like, somehow I win the lottery and I can afford to run a show, I'd love to do, like, a sort of, like, a couples, like, tag tournament, like, to determine who is the British wrestling power couple.
Us.
Obviously,
I'm
right?
sorry, you don't need to run a tournament. You don't need to do another article that we don't even get a mention in. I don't think we get the mention that we deserve.
To be fair, I think when I did that article, I didn't know you guys were together when I did that article. So, but that was like, I think that was before we even had you on the podcast. I think that was like 2 years ago. I think that was like one of the first ones we did.
It was. We will give you that Bible. Go ahead, you pick it up.
But I'll bring it back. I'll bring back the Power Couples article. I'll bring it back revised for 2023.
Crap everyone else. Put us there. Just put a photo of us going.
Very top. Crowns on and everything, yeah. And then Andy again, sneaking in behind, like at the back, like, hello.
Power couples in wrestling are you on me?
Yeah.
The best combination possible.
Love it. No, I love it. The next one again come from another reviewer we have, David South, who asked, he asked for Michael, he asked, he wants to know where the Now We Play came from, like what was the inspiration behind it?
So it was, basically I just stole it from Ric Flair. What a lot of people don't know is, people think about what Ric Flair's catchphrases are, and it's just they just end with woo, and you obviously know the styling and profiling and all of that. But a lot of things, a thing that he would do often is he would in matches just grab the leg and then just say, now we go to school. And I'm trying to remember what the day, it was in training, the day I just thought to say, now we play. But that was kind of how I just put 2 and 2 together and being like, well, let me have like little, like, my idea was like, I need to get this half crab over, I need to get this half crab over. So by attaching a catchphrase to me doing the move, I thought would be the best way to do it. And what was really cool is that last year I got to meet Ric Flair and tell him, hey, I have a catchphrase and it's just purely based off you, and he obviously knows it. And that was really a kind of a cool, nice full circle moment.
I love that.
But like what it means is just kind of like business is about to pick up.
Yeah.
It's but not in Oklahoma.
No, it's awesome. That's actually something I was going to ask you, Michael. I wanted to ask you on our last chat, and I totally forgot because we were talking about other stuff. Is like you and the half crab intrigue me because I always see it a lot as like with RJ Singh and the DDT, where like they're these finishers that I feel are really undervalued in wrestling. Like a lot of the time, especially on TV, you'll see it as a move that like it's not going to be the finish. And I just want to know like sort of your thoughts on that in terms of like having this move that like is great when you do it and it feels like a finish when you do it, but like a lot of the time when you see it on TV, you doesn't feel like a finish. It feels like it's very not overdone, but like not treated with that same level of respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are loads of ways to think about that, but quite simply, it's an example of the fact that you can just choose any move. And as long as you yourself are committed and dedicated to having it as a finisher, then it can be a finisher. And even though we are decades removed from the DDT being a finisher, properly, really. I know like Jake did it, then like Raven and Dreamer did it, but you can just, if you decide that the move is your finish and you just beat people with it, then people will be like, okay, that's the move that ends the match for this person.
Yeah.
So when like there'll still be matches on TV or something where someone middle of the match just puts on a half crab, it doesn't, it's okay because it's like that's the decision of like that move doesn't mean that much to them in that person, like Arsenal. Whereas like I've put the match together and I've put years of equity into my own half crab that like people like resonate and attach that to being the finish of the match.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Like the same with RJ as well. Like it feels like when you guys do those, it feels like the finish. Like you've built it to the stage where you're like, oh shit, like this is big. Like this is a big moment in the match. Which like again, I feel like is like again like I feel like I almost like respect more because again when you see it on TV, it's not that sort of thing. And so to get it to that level where people look at it and they're like, holy shit, this is the moment, I think is really cool.
I would literally say to anyone, especially like new wrestlers, like if I think sometimes they get stumped on like I've got to think of like a finish, I've got to create a finish like that's not been done before. I think it's also an example of like you can go to what's worked in the past, what's old is new, or what's happening right now is new. Just go with something that is easy to execute as well. If it's easy to execute for yourself, then you're just making your own job easier.
Yeah.
Then you can apply it and then get it over. As simple as that. Just get it over.
No, I love it. The next question is again, it's for both of you. We mentioned Impact coming back to the UK earlier, so it's a nice one to fit in with that. It's with Impact coming back to the UK. If you could pick your dream Impact opponents, picking one current roster member and one like Impact legend, Impact/TNA legend, who would you want to face?
Good.
If I was to face so for a match that I would love us to have would be Ace Austin with Mean Gina. That would be really cool. I would really like to do that. I think if it was for wrestling wise, Trinity has to. Look at our Danny Luna. She went and killed it. She just went, I'll just do that for you. I'll just lead the charge one time. She just went and killed it. Or Giselle Shaw, because Giselle I have always loved since the beginning. I was meant to have a match with her on my birthday. Never ever got to have that match. So it would be nice
to get it, yeah. Yeah. What about you, Michael?
For myself, past, it's like, I want to say two. I'm going to cheat and say Christian Cage. I know his name. Yeah, Christian Cage is like one of my favorite wrestlers like, ever. He's on there. So like that would just be a cool thing to happen. I take so much from him, and I hope that people don't realize or figure out that I have. But I take so much from him, so that would be like a dream thing. But then a second legend would be Monty Brown.
Yeah.
Again, another person that got inspirational. I think he's like the coolest wrestler that ever lived, ever. So that would be like two legends. In terms of current, obviously they're coming to October. I mean, the dude laid out the challenge to me and Leon Slater, so I didn't need to. But Josh Alexander, longest reigning Impact World Champion of all time. I said it, like, we have unfinished business. He said, come at me, and I'd very much be up for doing that. We wrestled in a 6-man tag last year at WrestleCon. And, like, he was on the opposite side, and I remember thinking, man, this would be a cool singles. And in that match, he was on the losing team, I was on the winning team, and more than me being on the winning team, I got the pin. Yeah. While giving him a Rev Runner on the floor. So we did a lot of crazy stuff because there was like a whole bounty gimmick where like the best match gets loads more money. Yeah. And we were second place to guess who? Speedball Mike Bailey. Obviously, that's, as I said before, that's what happened. You only compete in the second place when Speedball Mike Bailey's on the card. So yeah, Josh Alexander, easy choice.
No, we need to see that. For sure. The final one that came in, the final one came in is for you, Amira, and it's again from good friend of the podcast, good friend of you guys as well, over here at the minute from America, the awesome Hyan. She's killing it in a minute. Shit. Love her. I actually messaged her about something else, like separately to this, and then like I was like, we got Amira and Oku on. Do you want to ask them something? And
no.
and then
Because I'm about to ring her after this, so it better be good, Hyam.
well, she says it's good. I assume it's some sort of like inside joke because of the way she just immediately knew what to ask. So she wants to know from you, Amira, who's the J-Lo of BritRes?
Bitch, it's me. I am J-Lo of BritRes. I've said it. I'm putting the statement out there. All right, if you want to do the inside joke, I'm adjusting the lighting. Right.
What are you doing?
I'm making the joke.
This is serious business.
So, as you know, every time I do a Your Call, I try and turn it up. I try and bring a dress, and I have a dress inspiration for the copper box, and it's J-Lo. So I'm just going into my final form of J-Lo. I'm just ready to be J-Lo now. The J-Lo of BritRes. That's what I'm going for.
Going full
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm spending stupid money to do that. And then High-End is trying to argue that I'm not the J-Lo of BritRes, that she's the J-Lo of BritRes.
Outrageous. I mean, first of all, as good as she is, she's American. How can she be the J-Lo of BritRes? That makes no sense.
I mean, but
She's one of the British.
J-Lo is American and Hispanic, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, J-Lo's American. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Shit.
Shit.
With facts, and I don't work on facts. I work on delusion.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe that I am the J-Lo of BritRes. And this dress.
It's gonna blow everyone away.
J-Lo of BritRes. That's what I want to be.
You've set the bar high for this now. Like
it's very high. It better be high. This dress better come out the way I need it to.
I was gonna say, yeah. If it doesn't now, then you just look a fool.
I don't want to be to look like a fool. God forbid that my character is a fool. Not at the Copper Box Arena. Every day, the rest of my life.
Not in front of Dave Meltzer.
Oh, I'm making a full out of you. Oh, I can't wait.
You want to make him look like a super fan or something, like really like psycho fan, like Dave. He loves it.
I'm gonna be the psycho fan of Dave Meltzer. Mentioned me 3 times, and I gotta tell him. It's like, it's me, your close personal friend. Me.
Amazing. Well, I feel like a long time out of this chat. I feel like, again, like Michael, Amira's buried you a couple of times already, but I had this down to us, so I've got to ask, because it went out on our Twitter a couple of days ago. And again, we mentioned the velocities before, but when we had them on, Jude was telling me about when you guys went to Universal Studios, and you played this prank on Amira that seemed very, very harsh, but nonetheless very funny.
This is what he does to me.
That's very
yeah.
I'm doing it publicly.
It was on the fly as well. I didn't plan to do it. It was so funny. And I was like, we're one day removed of like departing from each other. You going to Texas, I still stay in LA. Well, it would be great if you thought that in less than a day, I'm just like part of a crime scene, like in a.
And when he, by the way. When he didn't pick up, there's videos that he wants to attach that you need to see.
Oh, Jude told me about the videos, yeah.
The pranks have videos, and the video evidence needs to be attached somewhere. What I didn't know is he was purposely hanging up. I thought something terrible was happening, and I'm in the middle of Texas, like, freaking out that Mike is dying. I am crying. He is dying.
You're not crying.
They told me and I was like, oh my god.
That's his idea of a prank. Mine is, haha, small little berry, haha. He's like, I'm going to die. And make her believe I am dead. And then go, haha, surprise.
There's levels. There's different levels to it.
Yeah. Also, want to bury Jude the Dude London and Paris the Silver. Fuck you guys. I know what you did. I know you're responsible.
Paris wasn't there. Paris had nothing to do with it. Paris wasn't there.
Paris, I'm so sorry.
He was having his little headphone naps. This is why we went to Universal Studios.
Paris, bibs, I'm so sorry.
He's London. No, he's caught that stray. Let him catch that stray. That's all good.
Oh my god, amazing. Have you got your own back though yet? Have you got him back with anything?
This interview
has been the get back. Yeah, this has been the setup.
I'm gonna probably work my way up to my next prank. What's the worst prank I've ever played on you? I don't call them pranks, I call them burying. So, like, what was the worst bury of you that I've ever done?
I don't know. I can't. You gotta think of it.
You can take the tassels off his jacket. You can take the tassels off the jacket.
Oh, that would be evil. You would get very upset. I'm trying to think of the worst prank I've ever played on you. because I've played loads.
It doesn't compete with mine.
Mine are pretty fun.
I was going to say, when you set the bar at the level of I might be dead, like, I feel like you can't really top that.
Like, this is what I mean. His pranks are, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to make you think I'm dead.
But it should be so silly that you shouldn't believe it. That's why it's so funny, because you were hook, line, and...
Oh, do you remember the Airbnb one where you told there was a...
See, this is what I'm saying. I've got another one.
Right, explain the story with the Airbnb.
Go on.
So we stayed at Airbnb, and after we left it, a few days after we left it, I said that, what was the reason? Was it because, like, we moved furniture or something?
We moved furniture and there was ants in the property.
Right. No, yeah, so this it was a basement flat, right?
Right.
And we would get takeaways. And, like, if you don't get rid of the takeaways for, like, a second, like, and I don't mean throw them in the bin, you got to throw them right out the flat.
Yeah.
Once we find them, and there'll be a trail going to the bin and going around, we're like, oh, gosh. So, like, we made sure we got rid of them, and they were nice and gone by the time we left the Airbnb, and anytime we finished eating.
Yeah.
But then I thought that I would tell Amira that we've received a video message from the landlord of the Airbnb and saying that, like, they found a problem with the flat and that we're now banned from Airbnb. And I'm just I'm just playing a video and just, you know, taking a tour of the house, and I'm putting on the worst accent, like, hi, my name is Iva, and I found very many issues with the property. There are ants all over the place, and unfortunately, I can't allow you to be doing this in my flat, so you are banned. I'm sorry, thank you.
I messaged Airbnb.
She was ready to call her. She was ready to call
apologizing.
Iva. She was ready to call Iva in anger. No, that's what you're going to do. The anger being like, how dare you?
Well, I apologized first, and then I got so angry I was going to call them. And then that's the only reason he told me it was a prank.
Oh, that's so bad.
I think I have footage of that video too.
Yes, you've got footage of that prank as well.
Oh my god.
That's his idea of pranks, which is just actually causing harm to
I was going to say this is proper, like, damage, psychological damage kind of prank.
No, there isn't. If you hear, okay, we're going to show the video, right? We're going to show the video. And if you hear my accent that I put on, you'll be like, how could she believe?
If it's a bad accent, you feel like...
I'm not my voice.
Oh, I just mean, like, in terms of, like, I'm just thinking, like, myself as well, in terms of, like, the anxiety it would cause me. Not the fact that, like, you didn't like it, but, like, having messaged someone then apologising for something that just completely wasn't true would, like, just give me raging anxiety. I'd be like, oh my god, this is so...
Yeah, that's what he does. He gives me anxiety. I never had anxiety until I met him. And now I have anxiety. Help.
Oh, so much has been spilled here. I love it. This has been so much fun. This has been incredible.
Worst idea we've ever had.
Yeah, I was going to say, this was your idea as well. I mean, like, I'm grateful. But this was your idea.
I know, and
you called the spot.
This is a terrible idea, and I probably cancelled both of us.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, I think Michael's fine. Like, you buried him as well, so people are going to feel bad for him.
This is why I've done 2 podcasts, and I'm very sorry.
No, it's been wonderful. It's been a lot of fun. And again, we've spoken about, like, your guys' dynamic at RevPro and Michael a lot, so it's only fair, Amira, to pick up the stuff you've been going on, like, because again, like, I normally say to people the last year, but we had you on 2 years ago, and since then, like, it's just been insane to see how much you've grown and how much you've done and, like, how much you've already achieved.
Thank you.
Like, it's really impressive and, like, genuinely thrilled for you. Like, how does it feel for you? How has that last 2 years been for you?
Well, 2 years ago, I think you caught me on my 10th match. And I think I'm now on 70.
Yeah. And
the difference in that person to now is just crazy. I think a lot of it has been, I hope you don't mind me saying, I think a lot of people think I've kind of just become his side piece now, and that's now in wrestling is kind of known as just Michael's girlfriend. But I've done so much in the last 2 years on my own that I don't think I get a lot of credit for. And I'm very proud of myself for. Like, for example, I went to the States, I wrestled for Booker T. Could I have ever said that 2 years ago? No way. I've went to Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal. I was one of the first people to wrestle in Portugal. The first females coming over to wrestle in Portugal. I'm forgetting another place, but I've made my debut in OTT since then, and that was my goal when I talked to you last time, that was my literal goal was to get to OTT.
Yeah, I remember.
And
yeah.
I got to Reality of Wrestling before that, which was crazy. I've met some of the coolest people in the last 2 years. I feel like I've achieved so much and grown so much as a wrestler and performer in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's definitely with the help of the managing Michael and watching Michael so close. And I feel like I've gained a lot more confidence in bigger crowds and stuff because I'm now managing in bigger crowds. And I'm excited to see where I go in the next couple of years because I think I'm just getting better and better. And I do want people to recognize me for my own career as well as managing Michael because, I think that's going pretty well as well.
Yeah.
And I think I can safely say that by this time next year, I think I'll be in a little higher.
No, for sure. I love seeing that. And again, without discrediting at all the work you guys have done together in RevPro, because I know it from other couples as well, like both, like of all genders, in terms of where one wrestler is perceived to have done more than the other. Like, is it tough? Do you feel like you have to work that bit harder to like prove like, you know, like that's not the case?
I feel like I've got to prove a lot more than I think I meant to. Like I said before, I was never meant to. It was never not my goal. It was never meant to happen where I'd be managing Michael. The Osprey spot kind of happened. That was like decided on the day, and I feel like since then my life completely changed wrestling wise from there. And then I just became Michael's girlfriend or Michael's side piece, and I just needed to find my own identity again.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year I'm starting to become more of my own person and prove myself more wrestling wise. I know that you probably won't feel that way because you've just had me added on to you.
What?
Do you know what I mean?
Feel what way?
So you've had your career kind of always going there yourself, then I got added on to your act. But as for me, I was just starting out when we kind of got to... I don't think we've ever really discussed this. We're just kind of discussing it on camera.
It's just like, it's become like relationship stuff now.
Yeah, like, I kind of just got added on to you. Did that change anything for you? Did you feel like that changed your trajectory a little bit?
Well, I think that was like, you know, as you said, like, we were nearly kicking and screaming when Andy had the idea of putting us together. We literally said no.
No, we said no. We didn't want to do it.
Like, initially. And I thought, like, part of that was... Because as well, I kind of saw like, okay, let me keep my career as my own thing, but as well as that,
I wanted mine more. So I wanted mine.
But I thought that too, and I didn't want it to be a thing where like it would be in the way of yours. But I think what has happened, and it's still like working through and trying to balance it. Just me speaking for you, but what I'm seeing is like the RevPro stuff. You know, it's high profile, so there will be a thing where like. The first time a lot of people will see her will be as a manager. So yeah, I'm sure you're getting a lot of people being like, oh, I didn't know that she was a wrestler. But on the flip side, that can be what I'm seeing is that then because people only see it, like a lot of people only know her as a manager, behind the scenes she's putting in a lot of work as a wrestler. And it's going, some of it is going unnoticed, but there's positives of that because she gets to improve.
Yeah.
She gets to get kind of improve quietly and get her own stuff out there quietly. And then the next thing you know, she's going to like surprise people.
Yeah, then when you get noticed, you're like at the top of the game and like...
Exactly. Because and there's because the challenge for a lot of people can sometimes be like, you know, they're getting wrestling down and then they're trying to figure out like how to like connect with the crowd. I think what she is great at, nearly I'd say second to none at, is getting that connection with fans nearly like off the bat. And having that at any promotion she wrestles at, but also having that at RevPro will just be one step that she doesn't need to worry about when it's time. Like, who knows, like the time may come where like Andy thinks that something may make sense for her to have like a big profile match. And then like there won't be an issue of like, oh, but will the fans care? They're going to care big time because we hear reactions that she gets already when doing small things, whether she doesn't move or whether I do a move on her. Like there's always these big reactions, so there's always that connection there, and that's normally the hardest part of wrestling. So the fact that Amira has that, I think it's going to be a cool thing of like, all right, wait till you see what she can do in the ring.
Yeah. No, even from seeing you improve over the last 2 years, like you can see the improvements there. and like it's been really cool to see. It's been really cool to see you like take that journey, like from a fan perspective, which has been awesome. But like the thing I want to say is like the main thing you left off of all the stuff you've done is you've been to Buc-ee's.
Bitch, I've been to Buc-ee's.
That's like...
I forgot about that. I have forgot I went to Buc-ee's. I documented the journey. It's on my TikTok.
It is.
For anybody there who wants to get on the talks.
The greatest petrol station in the world.
Talker now.
It's insane.
Is that petrol station?
It is, yeah. It's like, it's called the greatest petrol station in the world, the greatest gas station in the world.
Not been to Buc-ee's, so he can't relate. But Buc-ee's was the best place I've ever went to, ever.
Well, I was going to say, like, you went to Buc-ee's, he went to Universal. I feel like they're on a par, right? It's like pretty level, like...
Sure.
Universal.
Buc-ee's might even be ahead. Like,
Universal.
There was no liquid
Buc-ee's,
gas in Buc-ee's.
Universal. No comparison.
No liquid gas.
No comparison.
there was actual gas, though, so, you know. Actually, no, there was liquid gas. It comes out liquid, doesn't it? Yeah, there was liquid gas in Buc-ee's. Because it's a gas station.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think Dynamite also might have been around.
Dynamite also might have been in the petrol at Buc-ee's.
No, it's great. Again, like it's been awesome to see, like, from both of you, just like even like together and separately, the journeys you've had has been really cool. Like you've both like just grown like huge amounts, which is awesome. And like we were saying with Amira, like Michael, like, I feel like again because I talked about it with Andy, but I think we mentioned it with yourself when you came on last. In terms of like steadily building up like what you've got like sort of going unnoticed, and I feel like Andy said as well, like that was your moment when you faced Shingo, was when like the world sort of stood up and take notice of you for like the first time. And before that you'd been like steadily growing this portfolio of great matches where like everyone who'd been there was like, shit, this guy's good, but people who like were maybe outside the country or something hadn't seen it, like you were still relatively unknown to those people. Because he was like, oh, people were like, why is Oku facing Takagi? Like, why have you put those two together?
Do you know someone who said that? Do you know the person, someone who actually sent him, Andy, a text message of the graphic saying, why is this match happening? Do you know who that person was in 2019?
Go on.
Trent Seven.
No!
It was like, why is that match happening? And Andy's response is, he's really good. And guess what happened? We stole the show in Manchester.
Oh, mate,
happened at the Copper Box on the 26th of August.
He's about to eat his words wholly, isn't he? He's about to absolutely regret everything.
That's a shoot story. But that's it, exactly like that. I always say, I think it's always better for the fans to be clamoring to want more instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of happening, like, really, like, in RevPro, people were clamoring for me to be wrestling in RevPro for like a little while. And if I had started wrestling for them when they were clamoring for me, I was nowhere near ready to be there. But then when I get to that position where they're like dying for me to be in place, and it's the same with other promotions, even to this day, I'm more than ready. I'm more than prepared. I'm better than I would have been yesterday. So then I'm able to show my best and give my best. So yeah, I always say to people, like, if you can hear fans say, oh, they should be doing more, then that's actually a good thing, because then that's them saying that they really think high of you, and when the time comes, you'll be more than ready. For sure. And like, and Amira, I feel like, again, like one of those sort of like, I don't know if it's a feud that you've got going on at the minute. Like, you seem to have this very love-hate relationship with Sapphire at the minute. I'm not sure what's going on there. Like, 1 minute you like her, the next minute you don't. What's going on there? What's happening with that? I hate that woman with every little ounce of my soul, but she also kind of is my best friend, and she was staying here a couple of nights ago, but I also hate her. I was going to say that Purpose charity show, like when she was on like ring announcing, she was throwing you so much shade. I didn't know she was doing that. I almost battered her at the back. She thought that was so funny. She thought she got away with it as well. Like, she sat there and did her whole big speech in the ring, like, and I hate her. Looking around for the little cheap pop that she was going to get from her friends there, and Diva Francisco. But then once she was at the back, she's like, I'm sorry, Kara. Oh, I didn't think that. Babe. Oh, please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. But I battered her. Great accent, by the way. Great impression. Like, my Sapphire Reed impression. Mate, nailed on, yeah. I was going to say. I'm scared. Kara, please help me. I'm tired. I don't feel like I want to wrestle today. No, I can't. I'm the best. I'm the best here. I'm the best in the scene. The best that there ever is. I'm scared. I don't want to. Yeah, but that's because she only uses my dad. I don't care if people don't like that. Also, like, very similar to Andy put on an impression. They do sound...
They do sound so...
which you wouldn't have predicted, but yeah.
No.
I was going to say, do they sound similar? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know.
I would like to believe these impressions that they do, because I do the same voice for Andy as I do for Sapphire. They have the same one.
So they must do, yeah, they must do. If that's what you do, then they must do.
Be the same person.
Yeah.
But
have you ever seen them together in the same room?
I've never seen Sapphire Regionality together. Well, all jokes aside, she is honestly, from the very beginning when we met, I think I was her first match. And we've just been inseparable really since. It's definitely like a big sister, little sister kind of bond. But I've known from the very beginning, from when I met her, that she was going to be a star. She just needs someone that's really loud and obnoxious and horrible to push her to do things out of her comfort zone. Because she wants to stay in her little bubble and be just with herself. And I just needed to push her out there and let that. So that's the only that's kind of how we balance off each other.
Yeah.
He was trying to say, we just are like chalk and cheese, but we work so well. And now look at her. She's just absolutely killing it right now. She's a star. And in years to come, she will not even need any encouragement from me. She'll just be doing stuff on her own. I think I've been to every single match of hers, big ones that she can have.
Yeah.
She was there for my Eve debut, and now I'm here. Well, she's an Eve regular. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta have a word with Dan about that, because again, I was there when who was it? Was the match with Casey that she announced that you were in the ring, you surprised her with? Was that planned?
Yes. Oh no, that wasn't planned.
Oh. That
wasn't planned. That's all organic. That's all Sapphire Reed. Whoa, that's incredible. Yeah. Oh, that was sick. Her promo, she just did not know what was going on. Poor girl.
You really flung it upon her. That's a big moment as well, to just throw her up on.
But that was a good lesson for her, to always be ready for the unexpected and always be in your gear.
Yeah, and it was a good opportunity for you as well to give Dan a berating for not having you in more, because he's right. Dan, if you're watching this, what are you doing? We need to see more Amira or Eve. And not just berating you, you know what I mean? You got to have more than just berating Dan every show.
I think our Dan is really, really good. I do like Dan Reed. He really does care about the scene. He cares about our Sapphire and works really hard with her, and I really appreciate that. And I think the day will come if where he uses me a little bit more. He used me recently in Sapphire's Feud, and that's all that really mattered to me. That if I'm helping Sapphire, that's all that matters to me. I'm just there for the crack and a good time. I don't care where I'm booked or where I'm not. I'm just here to enjoy myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on your Twitter, you don't need to worry anymore, do you? Because every match is a win for you now. Every match is a win. It's all wins. Every win, right? No one needs to look into results.
I decided recently just to be delusional. Because there's so many people in wrestling that are delusional. So what if I just be delusional?
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to check every result.
Win.
Yeah.
All the time. Who cares? Who cares?
No one's got time to check every result, right? If you say you won, they're just going to assume you won.
Who's going to check?
Your father.
My father. So this all started because my father said I was a loser. So I'm just going to say I win all the time now. My dad does check on my cage match. He's very disappointed.
I feel though, you should be I have a cage match. There are people who have been in wrestling for ages that don't have aren't on cage match.
My dad is just, he doesn't get wrestling. He just doesn't get why I lose all the time. He thinks it's an Irish versus English thing. He's just angry. So I'm just winning every single match now because I'm sick of telling people that I've lost every single match I've been in this year.
Yeah. No, I like it.
So I win now every single match.
I think it's a good plan. Everyone's going to want the wrestler with a 100% record, right?
Absolutely. And when I get cage match to eventually change it to 100% record, everybody in Brit Wrestling is going to want to wrestle me.
Exactly. No. Brilliant. No, I love it. Well, we got a final we got a final closing feature here. Actually, you guys have both done our closing features, so I had to think of something new for you guys for this one as a closing feature. And I thought, as you're both here, it would be a shame to not do a little game of Mr. and Mrs. And we don't have the paddles, we don't have the boards and anything. But You know, we're gonna go the honor system. You'll like raise your hand if it's you, or point to the other person if it's the other person.
This is like all the TikToks you are.
It's my TikTok quizzes.
Oh, see, I don't get that because I'm not on TikTok. I don't do TikTok. Like,
shut up!
I can't.
Get on TikTok. Stop pretending you're better than everyone else.
I have had TikTok for 3 years and posted 4 things.
Well, Michael doesn't have TikTok either, but I find his TikTok. I find his secret TikTok.
His secret TikTok.
It was not called Musical.ly, was it?
Yeah, that's TikTok, yeah. But I don't know.
I feel like it took over something. I don't know if it was music, but it took over something and then renamed.
That was the name of it, yeah. Musical.ly.
Yeah. I remember Musical.ly.
And then, that's TikTok.
Ooh,
that's wild. Yeah. I didn't remember it as Musical.ly, but like I know it was something, and then they took it over. But yeah, can't believe Michael's got a secret one that he keeps from you.
I know. It's like he's having an affair with TikTok.
No, that's how he uses. That's how he messages Andy on TikTok on his secret.
On his secret TikTok. Oh my goodness.
I'd love to. Andy doesn't have TikTok, does he? I would love to see if Andy had TikTok.
Could you imagine?
Can you message Andy saying, "Do you have TikTok?"
I'll message you. I'll message Andy. Do you have TikTok? We want to share this on TikTok. Do you have it?
That's it.
Love it. Oh, but we're getting to that. We got some wrestling related questions. We've got some relationship related questions. It'll be fun. We'll mix it all up. So just like I just like to see if you agree or disagree on these. A couple of these we've already answered actually in the dishing the dirt, so I'll have to skip over them. But who's the better chef out of you two?
That's me.
Yeah.
You make one good pasta, but everything else I cook in the house. So
What's the good pasta?
She tried to make that good pasta like 2 days ago, and it went horribly wrong.
I'm a better chef. I've literally cooked dinner tonight.
I haven't tasted it yet.
What is
dinner that we're eating straight after this? So
what is it?
It's 5-bean chili with mint rice.
Nice. That sounds pretty good. I like chili. I like a good chili. What's your pasta dish though, Michael?
It's one dish.
It's a lovely anchovy pasta.
Oh, nice.
That's my go-to one. It's
one meal.
No, it's not my one meal. There's loads of many things. I made you that chili last week as well. I made you a chili last week. So we're gonna let's.
Oh, we'll see. We'll compare.
You don't know how to make chili because I made chili.
What do you mean?
Can I tell you about our first date?
You didn't take no.
Where. Our first date ever.
Just playing a game.
We were meant to. He was meant to cook me a meal.
Right.
He was meant to cook me a meal. For the ingredients for his meal, he bought. It has definitely been over 2 hours. He has to cut down so much.
It's not been 2 hours yet. Actually, it's not been 2 hours.
You need to cut down so much of this. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I don't need to cut down anything. Our chat with Andy was 2 hours. It's fine. It's chill. Our chat with Dan when we had him on was. Our chat with Dan when we had him on was 2.5 hours.
I'm very excited to watch that one. But continue, go ahead.
He bought broccoli and white wine. And that was his meal.
I see no issue with that. It's like...
I was gonna make a pasta, and those are gonna be 2 of the ingredients. It's gonna be the white wine to let that evaporate, so you just get the taste of the grapes. And then there's going to be broccoli in it, and I forgot the pasta part.
Gotcha. The crucial ingredient, the key ingredient in pasta is you forgot. Yeah. Well, I was going to say when you first.
I had to make chili because he, on our first date, this meal that he promised.
Doesn't sound like she just makes chili.
And look at you now. Look how far you've come.
Yeah, chili making.
I know, it's literally the first time I've made it in ages, and I've made it sound like on this podcast.
To be fair, maybe
it's like 3 times. I've only made it like 3 times.
I made chili.
To be fair, maybe it's something to do with chili because like it wasn't first date, but like early on in my relationship with my partner, I was around hers and she was gonna make chili, and we were like chatting, but she'd left the hob on with like the oil in the pan, so the oil burnt, smoked out the room. And we had to go to Grub's Burgers, like a burger place down the road. So maybe it's just a chili thing in dates where chili is like synonymous with dates and stuff.
Maybe. Maybe chili is the go-to.
Chili's what brings people together. No, I love that. That's great. But
go to your quiz.
No, I was going to say it's brilliant. It's beautiful. I love all the tangents. It's wonderful stuff. But actually, it's quite similar. Actually, the next one it says, "Who's the pickiest eater?"
Me, you. I'm gonna say
no.
I'm gonna say him.
No,
yeah.
Here's why I'd say her. Because the amount of times that I'm eating something and then she'll take the food that I'm eating and say, it's disgusting.
I have to take a bite of all his food.
And she always,
Everything
and
he
nearly,
eats.
I'm telling you, honestly, like 9 out of 10 times she hates it, which means that there's very few things that she likes to eat. So you have to be the picky.
I'm not a picky eater.
You don't. It's
I am a
okay.
competitive food eater. I can eat anything. I eat sandwiches. What you mean? I just think your food always tastes worse than my food, but I just gotta know, so I always take a bit of your food just to make sure I know
I'm
that
talking about when we go to places. Like when we go, and I've made a decision of what I'm going to get.
He has not moved on to question 2.
No, that was question. That was.
What am I picky about? What am I picky? Which food? Which food? Okay, so that's the question 3.
Well, no, that's fine. That's 2 questions down. We're getting there. We're getting through them, I think. We're getting through them steadily. The next one I'm most intrigued by, because obviously, you know, you guys are wrestlers, you go up and down the country, so it's crucial to know who's the better driver.
You wouldn't believe it, but she's the best driver.
I am.
That does seem wild to me. No offense, but like.
I literally did a hit and run yesterday, but like
No,
that
you
is.
can't say that.
What?
I hit a pole yesterday and ran away.
Oh, that's not a hit and run. Come on. That's just crashing your car.
Yeah, you crashed.
I crashed my car yesterday, but
And she's the better driver.
Yeah, here's the secret. Here's the way she's better. I don't drive.
Right.
because he's a lazy 30-year-old. Anyway, next question.
No, fair. Michael, I'm with you. I don't drive. I mean, I've got my license, but I don't
drive.
drive. I wouldn't drive. Especially in London. Who drives in London? Why do you need to drive in London?
Exactly.
Every woman
I'm
that's
a
watching
London. I'm a London.
this is gonna go, ugh. The fact that you both don't drive.
No, that's fine. I got my partner. She's locked down. She's fine. I don't need anyone else's
He's
approval.
going
That's fine.
to learn how to drive because I will not be
Nah,
a loser.
I'm the star, so I can do it.
Well, it's sort of the next one's similar to what I asked in the Dishing Dirt, but it's about you guys. It's who's got the better music taste out of you two.
We have the exact same music taste.
Yes,
Oh, that's good.
We have the exact same, so this is hard. I think me.
Although there are some weird songs that you throw out there in terms of like the comedic ones.
Lonely Island.
Offhead. You've got not Lonely Island, but I mean I know you know
I
that, but
probably
like
do know Lonely Island, but
but
I
there are
love
some-
comedy stuff. Like Steel Panther's my favorite band ever of all time.
Yes, you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Michael, did you know that she wanted Steel Panther to play at your wedding, or her wedding? Like, you know, whenever she gets married, whether it's to you or Andy, whether she steals Andy from you.
Or you and Andy 20.
Oh, my, now
You gotta wear the dress.
Yeah, she wants Steel Panther to play, so that's something you should keep in mind.
Only if there's tassels on your.
What song are we talking though? Like, what Steel Panther song is the perfect like wedding song? Because there's so many.
You do have a song.
What's the Steel Panther song? Why are you talking?
Community Property is my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, I wonder if it changed because you said that 2 years ago as well. But
No, it's.
I think yeah, I think Glory Hole is a good one as well. Right.
Glory Hole.
What's
Yeah.
going?
Wait,
and you were
a supersonic sex machine.
Yeah.
you were making fun of David Francisco for loving Lonely Island. What's the
But
difference?
he loves Lonely Island.
What's the difference between Steel Panther and Lonely Island?
Lonely Island are different
It
breeds.
sounds like the same genre.
To be fair, I feel like they're different breeds, but I feel like Steel Panther would be like, if people don't know them, it's like the metal equivalent of Lonely Island.
Yes. I'm aware
yes.
that's what they are.
If you like comedy bands, I'll throw a suggestion out there in case you don't know them. Do you know Ninja Sex Party?
I bet you do.
I think I do know Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah.
I do.
Like, me and my partner love them. They are hilarious. They're so
We're
good.
going to listen to that in the car on the way to the gym after this.
Yeah, you got to do that because they're.
We'll be the judge and we'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know because like we just think they're like funny as fuck. What's the best one? Smooth Talking's a good one. If you put that on, it's like the perfect romantic song. You'll love it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I will be on there. But yes, I have the better music taste, so I'm a better driver. I have the better music taste. I'm a better cook.
Better person, just generally, like top tier.
I'm just
That's the
so
next
much
question.
better than Michael, and everyone likes me more than Michael. Next question.
The next one is we got some wrestling ones actually now to get onto. Who has the better entrance music?
You. Okay.
It's just me.
You know when you beat
Well,
him.
I wrote and
You didn't
got
write.
mine.
You did not write your
I
own.
did write my music.
No, you didn't.
I did write my
No,
music.
you paid for someone to write.
I did it and produced it, but I wrote it.
You wrote the lyrics of that.
Oh, I didn't actually write the lyrics of the song.
What do you think rights means?
I took the other one.
No idea.
Oh, you'd be a nightmare in like pop star interviews, wouldn't you? Like saying to all the press, "I write my songs. I'll write my own songs."
No. Yes. Michael was the best. My next question. Best wrestler in the world. Wow. Jericho Cruz. Wow. Amazing. Wow.
The next one sort of again almost alludes to what we said about the ring gear earlier. It's who would look better in the other person's ring gear?
Other person.
Right. I have to give myself the better ring gear. He wears the same little pants everywhere. He wears underwear.
No. Who would look better in the other's gear? Like, would you look like?
It's an unnecessary burial. She just mislistens. She writes her own songs, not.
Just straight away. No, my gear's better. It's better.
Mike is the best. Amazing. So like. You look amazing in my gear. You would look really good in my gear. If I wore your gear, my OnlyFans would be like, and not as dead as it is. You would look wonderful in my sexy bras. My brassieres.
Two Brazilians.
These are the brassieres.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay. Fine.
Yeah, I think you pull it off. I think it'd be a good look. I think it'd be a very good look. I think. Yeah. People are gonna be like, "Holy hell!" Like this is now we've revealed your copper box gear. This is what you're wearing, the copper box.
I'm
This is what you're wearing.
just gonna borrow some of that gear. That's the secret.
Amazing. This is a tough one because obviously, Michael, you've got a belt at the minute, but who looks better with a belt around their waist? Who wears the belt better?
Well, I think everyone forgets.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do.
I am currently the Vortex Woman.
Can't even get it out.
Because I think the promotion's dead now, so I don't know. But I'm currently the Vortex
still.
Woman. I technically have a belt.
And still, yeah.
And still.
True.
Huge reign.
In my greatest reign of all time.
First ever.
Can we see who's got more likes on the photos of their belts?
Oh, that would be the signifier, wouldn't it, of who pulls
So
off?
we will come back to you with this one when, because I he looks better.
Okay.
Nice. Brilliant.
Thank you. Vortex Women's Champion. Yes.
We've only got a couple more left. The next one is we'll discount. Well, we don't have to discount Andy Quilden from this question, but we're not just talking about RevPro here. We're talking about all companies. Which one of you makes the most trouble for promoters?
You 120%.
That's just not true. That's not true. You make the most money for promoters.
Oh, do you?
So I don't think there's any trouble there. I feel like every day you're telling me a problem with a promoter. So yeah. Barry, be honest. Barry promoters. Barry's promoters. Oh, this promoter wants to do this. Oh, this promoter wants to do this. Oh, this promoter.
That is not.
This promoter's a wee dick. You know, that's
I've never said that ever. He is making this up. No.
Meanwhile,
Michael is a terror.
No.
He's a terror among the masses. No, he's not actually a terror. I don't think either of us, all jokes aside, I don't think either of us make much trouble. We really enjoy most of the promotions that we work for. But he does. You do not help with the ring anymore.
I don't help with the ring.
Yeah.
He's too big time now, Michael.
I think Francisco called you out on that one.
Oh.
Yeah. When? Do you know what she does? She'll carry a beam of a ring, and then she'll ask for the professional photographers who have been hired for that promotion to take a photo.
I do.
To show that's the
case.
So
that everyone can see how humble and helpful I am.
No. So when they're trying to take their backstage photo, the portraits of the wrestlers, you're causing trouble.
Oh.
By getting in the way.
Aurora Torres is the only one that causes trouble. From what I Tevez.
I was going to say Amira off the top. I feel like you caused trouble for Dan and Eve, but that's like in show. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you can be a menace to him.
I think Dan Reed is terrified of me, and I think everyone is really terrified of me. And it is probably me, to be fair. I will actually say that. But I cause nice trouble. I don't cause bad trouble.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that's nice. And that leads us brilliantly on to the final question on the Mr. and Mrs. is if you two faced off in a match, who would win?
I would, because I'd have to go like full throttle try and kill him, because that's the only way I'd survive. I know that it will probably never happen. I don't want it to happen because I don't think
She'd win. She doesn't win.
I know I would win, but I would not win the correct way.
You've got that new rage finishing move now to try out.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, you've got the gut line. Well, Dawson does it. He calls it a gut line, where he just whacks you with his arm in someone's gut. So you could do that. You could do Dynamite Dawson.
It would just be rage. We'd go in, we'd not plan anything, and I just beat him. I try everything with all my might like this, like, and it won't work. And like that's why I don't want to ever have a match with him ever. We will never have a match together. I will pull out. There's no point.
I hope you do at some point, just so we can bring this clip back. I'm
gonna pull out. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to wrestle him. I refuse. I refuse.
Would you wrestle Andy in a Michael Oku on a forklift match? Yeah, it's like the was it WCW, wasn't it? It was Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
Incredible. Do you think Andy would do it?
Do it, lad. Do it.
That would be so incredible. If I could fight Andy, I've definitely threatened to fight Andy numerous times.
I would love if you guys. I would love if you three did the whole like Mickey Trish storyline. Like either you or Andy is like the psychotic one, like storming.
It's me that's Vicky James. I'm Vicky James.
Well, what a great segue to go to a couple box where Vicky James will be there.
Yes, it all done on purpose. See, everything has a reason. Everything has a meaning.
Vicky James coming to Copper Box. Also a really nice girl. We love her.
Yes, yes.
So excited.
But that does bring us to the end. We'll talk about one final plug for the Copper Box in a sec. But it brings us to our, like we spoke of off screen, our closing section where our previous guest leaves a question for our next guest. Now, before we get into your actual question, we spoke off screen about the question that the Velocities asked. Obviously, you guys love them. About the question the Velocities asked that we couldn't ask in our interview with our guest after that because I thought it was too inappropriate. But you guys seem happy to answer it, so we'll answer it here in the public eye for everyone to see. And so the Velocities asked us, when you go to the bathroom and you're all done, do you stand or sit to wipe?
I sit, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay that people know that. I sit.
Yeah,
Sure.
I sit.
Right.
So I know why they asked this.
It's not okay that you sit.
After shitting,
Yeah, I think that you're a man.
should I stand
feel
when
like
I
you
shit
should-
as well?
Yeah.
I don't stand while you shit, but I think you should be standing up to
And
clean.
let the cheeks mush the together like.
Oh.
Your ass is not fucked. Like,
Yes, it is.
It still happens though, to be fair, it still happens.
He's got
Yes,
a nice
it
bank,
is.
but it's not fat.
Yes, it is.
And I think
You think it's
thinks
gonna mush together?
I don't think it's gonna go
like a.
smash together the way you think it's gonna smash.
No,
Why would I stand and close it up?
Because I just think it's a
It'll cause a
manlier
mess.
thing to do.
It'll cause a
I
mess.
think it's more like
What?
I don't know. I just
Well,
it makes me a little bit icked out that you sit.
I mean, as you guys are comfortable answering it, I feel like I'll say I'm in between the two because, like,
Do you do like a little?
no, because I understand where you're coming from about the cheek smushing, right? I don't want that either, like, because that's gross. So I'll sit for the first one and then I'll stand for the rest.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, look at that.
Because that way the most of it's gone already and then you're just finishing off.
You can finish it off, yeah.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Bit more than you needed to know about anyone, to be honest.
So
Isn't it?
apparently with this question, nearly like a 50-50 split, like around the world of what the answer is.
They were a 50-50. I think Paris sits and Jude stands.
Tuesdays.
I think so. I might be getting that the wrong way around. It was definitely 50-50 with them. One did one and one did the other. I think that was the right way around, but I might be wrong.
that's a discussion. We're gonna ring them after
That's a
this.
discussion.
Do you sit or stand? They'll be thrilled that I asked you though, because like they were really upset when I said I couldn't ask who our guest after was.
I thought
You
your
don't know
goals
that.
to kind of
You don't know that.
separate.
That's not how it works. If I stand up, my arms isn't.
Yeah.
So right,
that's also how balls work when they just spread it out.
Wet is your shit. That's
A lot.
It's
pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
I feel like we eat the same diet, and I feel like
things happen to me. Things happen to me.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't want to know. No one needs to know that far. You don't need to.
You don't know. It's for the betterment of hygiene that I don't stand.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I get it. I understand. I understand fully.
Can you imagine if you're about to wrestle them and oh my god, because they didn't. It's pushed.
Would that put you off? Like, say you're in the ring with someone, you lock up first time, and they like just whisper to you, "I stand to wipe," and then you're like, "Ah." Oh.
No. Yeah, I think so.
I think they're the heel. I think they're just telling you like I'm heel this match.
Oh, what a chat this has been. This has been beautiful. And like, it brings us on briefly to the close because your question that you've been left by our last guest was Andy Quilden. So your question.
Oh my god, he's talking to us. He's replied.
Your question has been left by the one and only Andy Quilden. And he wants to know from both of you. He didn't know it was both of you coming on at the time, so he doesn't need to know it from both of you. But I need to know it from both of you. From him, who was your first childhood celebrity crush?
Of course, he's asked that because he's a weirdo.
Honestly,
what a weirdo question. That's a weird question. My childhood celebrity crush would probably be from The Lion King too.
What is it? Is it the weird other lion, the scruffy looking lion from
Yeah.
Oh no! What? I can't remember his name.
Whoa.
And my childhood celebrity crush would have to be the guy at a Glee from season 2 that I don't know the name of.
Oh, what a crush! That guy, anonymous.
That one guy. Because I wrote a whole big before I deleted my Facebook. I wrote a whole big article, post about how hot the guy from Glee was.
I think my first one was Baby Spice. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Well, we're not watching the Spice Girls anymore. No Spice Girls videos in this house. No
Sorry.
Viva Forever in the car anymore.
Were there Spice Girls movies before?
What's that?
Were there Spice Girls movies before in the house? Is this a regular thing?
Listen, like it was a regular. We'll go and they're going to put it in cinema. We're going to dress up for it.
We were going to dress up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, now I'm thinking of the Barbie film. Baby Spice does a little bit like Barbie. That's you not getting out of the house now for a little bit.
Barbie, Baby Spice, Andy Quilden, it's all coming out.
It's all been
You've
great.
clearly got a type.
Andy's celebrity crush. I want to know what
Did he answer it himself?
Did he answer
he didn't answer it himself, no.
Oh, shut up,
But
Andy.
in defense, that might have been my fault because we'd spoken for 2 hours, and I think I had another interview lined up or something. I had something else lined up, and I might have forgotten to ask him. So you can't fully blame it on him. It might have been on me. But
okay,
you can ask him. You guys can ask him because now you've had to answer it.
I'm so intrigued to know what it is.
But I'll get your question for our next guest after this. Yeah. What?
I'm just guessing who his childhood crush is.
Cilla Black.
Oh, yeah,
Doris on a coronation.
Oh yeah, someone from a soap. 100%.
Someone from a soap.
100%.
He loves his soaps, does he?
He loves
his soap.
Oh, I can see that actually. I can see that.
You can see it in his booking.
Yeah. All the drama.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I love it. Well, that's beautiful. I think that brings us to a close beautifully. And so all that's left to do is to say, Amira, Michael, thank you so much for coming on. This has been one of the most bonkers episodes of the podcast I think we've ever had. So thank you for that, because it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having us. We had the best time.
I hope so. I'm glad.
It's been cool. Wait, do we not get to ask questions?
Oh no, you do. I do that off recording.
Oh, off air.
Yeah.
Of course, so it's secret.
Yeah, because then otherwise whoever watches whoever's next might watch it and then they'll know.
They're ready. Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, this was absolutely insane.
No, I hope you enjoyed it. And it's been a lot of fun, and I'm really glad we did this. And all that's left to do is to say August 26th, Copperbox, RevPro, 11th anniversary. Michael Oku versus Trent Seven, obviously, key match, biggest match on the card. Who's a Will Ospreay, right? that doesn't matter. But huge moment for RevPro in their history. Huge moment for you guys, for everyone else on the card. Love Amira's dancing there. I'll cut a bit of that in as well, because that would be great. But I won't. That's why you walked. I want you to walk to the ring like that as well, at Copper Box as well, just like this, like yeah.
If it was up to me, I would. Andy has told me off once for being myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen the reason why in the last few.
Who needs pyro though?
Why it shouldn't be.
Who needs pyro when you got that, like the jazz hands? But I mean, that just leaves us with your closing words. Like, if anyone, for some reason, I don't know why they wouldn't, but if anyone hasn't got their tickets yet for Copper Box, what would you say to make sure they get them, to make sure they get down for what's going to be a huge show for RevPro on what is essentially the biggest weekend in British wrestling for 30 years?
Exactly. Well, it may arguably be bigger than, obviously, 30 years, the Wembley show. But in terms of RevPro, in terms of the Copper Box, we're going all guns blazing because we know that there's a chance that we're going to get... Well, no, there's not a chance. We are going to get the most people to see a RevPro show. Already, the tickets have already beat the record ever. So because of that, we know that we need to show people what we're about. We know there's a chance to gain new fans as well as a service the fans that have been in support of the promotion for all these 11 years. So we're going to make sure that it's one of the best shows that they've ever seen. And we're going to make sure that, like I said, this is going to be the show of the weekend that you're going to be, oh man, I'm so glad I was there for that. Of course, Wembley's going to be amazing. That's the 1-2 punch right there. Those two shows. If you're going to Wembley, you have to come to the Copper Box too.